Everything I did for the rebellion. Rogue One, in many ways, it's a film that connected new audiences with the oldest fans. It was a bittersweet feeling, you know, on the premiere, knowing that it was just one film. But then magic happens, right? As you can see, we're getting ready. We're building stages, we're rehearsing, we're training, we're trying costumes, we're doing everything to make sure we do the best show. I'm really excited having the chance to explore Cassian. It's really fun to go on a set that is emulating something you like so much.
The enormity of this is like doing a big feature film.
It's very cinematic. For me, that's where the excitement is.
12 episodes, 12 scripts, over 200 named cast members, over 6,000 crowd people, a lot of creatures that come in from the creature department.
We treat this exactly like we would a film. There is no difference in our approach.
Every creature and droid that we've been building has the same care and level of attention to detail as the previous films.
It's huge, it's thrilling, but also it's wonderfully challenging.
There's tons of possibilities to explore. It is the building of a revolution.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This is going to be my Star Wars Rogue One prequel trailer video. I haven't really talked about this series yet, but I will be doing episode videos for it when it releases. It'll be 12 episodes, if you can believe that. They're finally actually doing way more episodes per season of these Disney Plus shows. I'll explain what's going on with the characters, like what's going on with Darth Vader during this period, because obviously we have Hayden Christensen coming back as Darth Vader in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. That's going to be set before this. I'll explain what the timeline is and when all the Star Wars episodes during 2021 are going to be released, and which episodes those will be. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get everything. I know everybody just wants to know, when is The Mandalorian Season 3 episodes going to start releasing? But just starting with the trailer footage and explaining what's happening at this part of the timeline and how everything is connected. So, this picks up 5 years before the events of the Rogue One movie, so most of the characters are all still alive. Most of them from the movie will be starring on the TV show. Some of them they haven't quite confirmed yet, but Diego Luna's character is the main character. That's why it's called Star Wars Andor, because he's Cassian Andor. The genre that they're doing with the show is basically spy thriller. It's all about the formative years of the rebellion. So I know there's a big question about Ahsoka Tano cameoing because she was there for the birth of the rebellion. Mando from The Mandalorian, the Din Djarin character, was also very active during this period. He was much younger, but he was very active. For those of you that really liked Bill Burr's character, he was also very active in the Empire during this period. Pretty much anybody from the Mandalorian series you've seen, because that only takes place about 8 or 9 years after the events of A New Hope. So even Moff Gideon, Giancarlo Esposito's character, would be in his 30s during the events of this series, and during that period, he was just a regular officer in the Imperial Security Bureau. That was the branch of the Empire that was operating the base on Scarif that they went to infiltrate to steal the Death Star plans. Hopefully they'll finally explain what the Blacksaber Easter egg was, and not to be confused with the Darksaber, which is a completely different thing. But another really good example is this is also probably around the period of the Mandalorian's Great Purge, so Bo-Katan would probably still be ruling over the Mandalorians during this period with the Darksaber. So because they have 12 episodes to tell their story, hopefully we'll see some Easter eggs and connections to those other series. It's also about 5 years or so after the events of what's going to be happening in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, which we know Hayden Christensen is coming back for as both Darth Vader and for Anakin Skywalker stuff, for flashbacks obviously. The events of this series will also probably overlap a little bit, maybe with Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron movie, just because that sounds like it's going to be taking place during the original trilogy era, around the time of the Rogue One movie. Alan Tudyk is coming back as K2SO. I'm so happy about that because he was amazing as that droid.
He is taking us to...
Quiet! And there's a fresh one if you mouth off again.
We'll take them from here.
Pretty much all the major Empire characters were around during this period and very active, like Darth Vader the Emperor, the Inquisitors, all still very, very active. Sure would be nice if they gave The Mandalorian 12 episodes per season, but they do have all the spin-off series and the story overlaps between all those different shows that they're doing, so technically they get like 20 episodes per cycle. They didn't say exactly how much they plan on using Darth Vader during the series, but my assumption, just based on the big Luke Skywalker Mandalorian Season 2 finale twist, is that when Darth Vader shows up outside of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, he'll just be full armor Darth Vader with James Earl Jones doing the voice. It won't be Hayden Christensen, unless it's the Ahsoka Tano series, which is kind of a different situation, because I think we're all just hoping to have some Ahsoka Anakin Skywalker scenes, and there are only a couple ways you can do that. You either do flashbacks with Rosario Dawson to when he was still alive, or you do Force Ghost Anakin in present day. But you kind of have to think of this series as a live-action version of the Star Wars Rebels animated series. But that'd be a really easy way to do a live-action version of Kanan Jarrus, who died during Star Wars Rebels before the events of the Rogue One movie. Darth Maul is also very much alive during this period too, so he could also be involved through the crime syndicates. That was mainly what he was doing around that period, when he wasn't with Ezra Bridger trying to turn him to the dark side of the Force. And it's also the period of time where Ahsoka Tano had that reunion fight with Darth Vader at the Sith Temple, even though if they ever decided to try and do a live-action version of that, they would probably save it for the Ahsoka Tano series, and it would be like a flashback memory that she's having. That is probably one of the best Star Wars scenes of all time, not just animated scenes, but anything from the live-action movies as well. It was just so mind-blowing how good a job they did with that. Some of the twists during this fight scene also kind of explain why they would want to go through the trouble of paying the extra money to get Hayden Christensen to come back and play Darth Vader, because most of the time he's wearing the mask and he sounds like James Earl Jones, so why would you need to put Hayden Christensen in the suit to do that? Well, you do that so that you can have a Darth Vader scene that turns into an Anakin Skywalker scene when his mask gets broken and you see Anakin underneath the armor. When this happens, his speech also goes back to Anakin's speech. It's not being amplified anymore, so he sounds like Hayden Christensen Anakin when this is happening.
I won't leave you. Not this time.
Then you will die.
I know everyone just wants to see Darth Vader come back and wreck the hell out of everyone. The cool thing about that Darth Vader scene is that they actually basically gave Luke Skywalker his own version of a hallway scene, just like the Rogue One scene. Like father, like son. And speaking of really big original trilogy character cameos during this Rogue One prequel series, the other biggest character that we haven't really talked about in a while is Princess Leia. But you have to keep in mind that the Rogue One prequel series picks up 5 years before the events of the movie, and she's only 19 during A New Hope, so she'd be like 13, 14 years old when the Rogue One prequel series picks up. So they would have to cast like a completely different actress to play that character, and I don't think that they want to do that right away. You guys can let me know in the comments, do you think that they should just stay away from a young version of Leia, or do you want to see her have a Luke Skywalker kind of cameo in the background? They also announced Stellan Skarsgård is going to be playing one of the main Imperial villain characters. They didn't say which character he's playing or if he's playing a major original trilogy character. Genevieve O'Reilly is coming back as Mon Mothma. She's the one that played young Mon Mothma during Revenge of the Sith and then came back to play her again during the Rogue One movie. Then the only other actors that they've announced are Denise Gough, Fiona Shaw, and Adria Arona, but they didn't say who they're playing. Just in terms of how far they're going to take this and how big the Easter eggs are going to be, just look at the Mandalorian episodes and use that as a template. If they're going for Easter eggs that big, I feel like they're going to do the same thing during the Rogue One prequel series. But here's the lineup for 2021 Star Wars episodes. We're going to get 3 different Star Wars TV shows during 2021. The first one that's supposed to drop, I believe, is The Bad Batch. That's the brand new animated series set right after the Clone Wars from Dave Filoni. So it's all him, and it's going to feel very much like the Clone Wars, but it's set during the rise of the Empire. There's the Star Wars Visions TV show, which is supposed to come a little bit later in the year. That's the anthology series that's going to be a series of directors doing different episodes about totally different things. But if you heard about an anime Star Wars series, this is the one. I don't know how many episodes it's going to be. Then thankfully, they've already confirmed that the Mandalorian spinoff, the Book of Boba Fett episodes, will start airing the week of Christmas next year. They haven't absolutely confirmed how many episodes there's supposed to be, but I believe it's between 4 and 6 episodes, just a little bit less than the Mandalorian seasons. So that'll run into January, February, and then right after that, at the beginning of 2021, they'll start doing the Mandalorian Season 3 episodes. Probably at least by March. It just depends on when the Boba Fett finale happens, but obviously Ming-Na's character and Tamura Morrison's Boba Fett character are the main characters. They haven't announced which other characters are going to show up, but it's going to be set around Tatooine, and it's mostly going to follow the underworld of the Star Wars universe, the scum and villainy of the galaxy. Pedro Pascal did say that he expects to cameo as Mando on all the other spin-offs, so we might see Mando on the Boba Fett series as well as other characters from The Mandalorian Season 2, like Bo-Katan and the other Mandalorians. But hopefully that explains what's happening with Star Wars in the next year or so. Of course, I'll be doing episode videos for all of those shows, so as long as you have alerts enabled for my channel, you should see all those videos when I post them. But let me know which of the new series you're most hyped up about and who else you want to see show up on the Rogue One prequel series. Everyone click here for my brand new Mandalorian Season 3 Luke Skywalker and Grogu Jedi training video, and click here for all my Mandalorian episode videos. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe. Merry Christmas.